Hugh, as the days turn and we look forward to the next week in the NFL, all eyes and questions remain about the Eagles' offense. So let's just start here, Hugh. The Eagles' offense, we don't have to lie to ourselves. We don't have to pretend. The Eagles' offense so far this season has not been good. Let's just call it for what it is. It has not been a good offense. It has been, if you want to be generous, Hugh, you could say mediocre. If you want,
it has not achieved the heights that we expect
Yes.
from this offense with the talent that we've amassed.
Totally. If you want to be more realistic, you could say it's been a below-average offense. If you want to be blunt, you might say it's been bad at times. They have the worst 3-and-out rate in the NFL. They can't sustain offense. Their passing game is up and down. Their running game has flat-out stunk. Those are all the truths, right? They just haven't been a good offense. But we look forward now, Hugh, for the rest of the season. We feel like the defense is coming along. We feel like the defense is finally playing like they did last year, and they look like a Super Bowl defense. The question is, Hugh Douglas, as we look forward to the final 7 games of the regular season and into the postseason, do you expect this offense to get better? Hugh, what are you feeling this morning as we look forward to a Cowboy game on Sunday, 7 games left of the regular season, and hopefully 3 or 4 postseason games? Do you expect this offense to get better?
Yes. And I'll tell you why. I know that there's nothing you can really hang your hat on, but I listen to guys talk, and they're striving for excellence. They haven't achieved it yet, for whatever reason that might be. There's a lot to digest when it comes to this team. I was reading some blogs yesterday. We were talking about fire Kevin Patullo. He's the problem. We talked about yesterday is Jalen potentially the problem with the stories that came out yesterday. The offensive line's hurt. There's questions about whether or not Saquon Barkley is the guy that he used to be. And yet and still, we're 8-2. Like, that's a fact. And there's been some ugly wins along the way, but this team finds ways to win. So, yeah, I'm optimistic. Still a lot of football left to be played, and as long as you know that that's not your best effort, I feel comfortable in the work ethic that this team has displayed over the past, and I feel comfortable in the coaching staff and things that they're going to try to get this fixed.
So ever the optimist, Hugh Douglas. So I gotta be ever the realist
optimistic.
here. Yeah, I gotta be ever the realist. No, I don't expect it to get better. I think this is what we have. I don't believe this offense this season is going to get significantly better. Now, are they going to have a couple games here or there? Yeah, probably. I mean, they're going to play some bad defenses down the stretch of the season. Washington's defense is terrible. They'll get the Raiders here. I mean, they should have a couple games here or there where they move the football certainly better than they have the last 2 games. I don't think they're going to be as bad as they were against Green Bay and Detroit. They'll be better than that. But do I think this is going to turn into the offense that we wanted it to? I don't. I'm beyond that point. Guys, they've played 10 games. This isn't 3 or 4. I mean, when we're having this conversation, this isn't September or early October. They're going backwards. And as I look at the offense and I look at what they are, here's why I don't expect it to change much. Number one, they're not going to have their offensive line healthy the entire season. Isn't that solidified now? With Lane out 4 to 6 weeks, and let's hope it is that's short of time and not even longer. But with Lane out, they're never going to have continuity on the offensive line. They've been in and out, up and down, guys in, guys out. Well, that will now continue all the way until whenever. And again, hopefully they get Lane back for just the playoffs. But they're not going to have any sort of continuity in the offensive line. Kevin Patullo, the firing thing is strong. It's his first season. But he hasn't shown like that he's anything special here as an offensive coordinator. And isn't it alarming to anyone else that they came out of the bye looking like this? Usually you come out of the bye looking better. They've come out of the bye looking worse. So, my thoughts on Patullo is hold on a second. They've come out of the bye looking worse than they have before going into the bye. So I don't have much faith in the coordinator. The offensive line's banged up. Their top receiver, at least as what we thought was their top receiver, doesn't look to me like, from the eye test, that he's got the same juice he used to in A.J. Brown. And Jalen Hurts is probably the same as he's always been, which is up and down, sometimes good, sometimes not. We can say we think it will get better because we want it to, but do you really believe it's going to get better? I don't. I think this is – but why?
Because you're striving for greatness.
But they were striving for greatness the week before.
Yeah, they were.
The week before that.
They were.
Before that.
They were.
Yeah.
It's like being listen. It's almost like being in a relationship, right? And you have issues in your relationship, but you're still trying to work those issues out and still trying to make it work.
Sometimes it doesn't work.
Well, you're right, but I don't feel like that's the case in this one because we've shown that in our relationship that we've had some tremendous heights. We've reached the Super Bowl. We've won the Super Bowl. And we've been dysfunctional up until this point.
Yep.
So you have to believe that deep down that if we work harder at this, that we can work our relationship out.
Yeah,
and then it'll be smooth sailing.
Oh, smooth sailing. Stop. See, you said last year.
Right.
At least last year they had one thing they hung their hat on, or really two things. The offensive line was great and the running game was great. And it was just about could the passing game kind of come along as the season went along. And it did. It got there by the end. They had two great passing games in the Super Bowl and the title game. They do nothing particularly well right now. I mean, that's why I'm not feeling that they're going to get better. Now, does this mean the season is over and they can't win? No, because this defense is great. If the offense just protects the football, doesn't turn it over, they're going to have a chance to do some special things. But I don't expect this offense to get better. 215-592-9494. And one more quick thing on the offensive line before we hear from a couple experts here. You know, one of the things they were doing differently here the last few weeks, or tried to, was that 6 offensive lineman set, right? Fred Johnson coming in. Well, now what? Are they going to have to scrap that? Because Lane is out, so Fred's got to go to right tackle. And unless we want to see Matt Pryor playing half the snaps, I'm not sure they're going to even do the one thing they adjusted to do. Now, I've accepted they are what they are on offense. It's not a great offensive team. It's not a great offensive year. I don't see it. Hugh Douglas is still feeling optimistic. Where do you come down on the offense? Do you expect it to get better? 215-592-9490. Let's hear Dan Orlovsky, ESPN, yesterday talking about this Eagles offense.
Right now, this is why I say this offense can't win the Super Bowl, is because it's the deadly combination of two things. Way too many 3-and-outs and not nearly explosive enough. Okay, so right now, 3-and-outs, they're the worst in the NFL. I can have you be a 3-and-out offense if you're unbelievably explosive. They're worse than middle of the pack when it comes to explosive plays. Or I can have you just be an explosive offense if you're crazy efficient. But they're neither. And so there's that deadly combination of they either get a 3-and-out or they have like one explosive play a quarter. That's not going to be good enough against teams like LA, against teams like the Seattle Seahawks. It's going to come back to bite them unless they fix it.
Well, they're going to need to be better than they have been. That's
I will say this. I will say this to that. We don't know. We're speculating recklessly because I sat here last week and what I saw from the Detroit Lions led me to believe that this was going to be a much tougher game, so much so that I thought they were going to win. I thought Detroit was going to win this game. This defense was stifling, and as inept as this offense was, they still figured out a way to win. So you mean to tell me that against a team – like Matt Stafford, they won this weekend. He didn't light it up. He didn't light it up, but they won this weekend. And you talk about Sam Darnold. We saw what he did, and we know his history. So you mean to tell me you're that confident that in what you see from this team that they can't take both of those teams out? They've already beat one. They already beat one of them.
Sure, they could.
And Sam Darnold in the playoffs, we already know he turtles up.
They could be. Here's my concern with why this is going to be hard to do the way they're doing it. It's hard to win every game like this. It's like the Phillies.
Agree.
It's like the Phillies with their pitching last year. Their pitching was great, but their offense was an issue. And unless they got better, they were going to get knocked out. And their pitching was great. So I have full faith in this defense right now. Full faith in Vic Fangio. It's 10 weeks, guys. Like, I got to stop holding my breath that they're going to wake up and drop 40 on Sunday, even against a bad defense in Dallas.
See, this is why I'm going to help you out a little bit. I'm not sitting here thinking they're going to drop 40.
Right.
Give me 21.
21? Oh, you've lowered the bar, Douglas.
Listen. You know what? I feel like that last one, the fire Hugh, is personal because me and Kyle had a little bit.
Yeah. Everyone's going to have beef with you. 21?
But what I'm saying is this.
Oh, my gosh.
You've held a team that was averaging 33.1 point, 4 points, or whatever it was, 31.4, whatever. Right. You held them to, 9 points? Yeah. Come on, man. Defense travels well.
You keep telling me about the defense, not the offense, because you don't want to talk about that.
No. Filibuster. I'm not filibustering. This is how you remain optimistic, and I'm trying to help y'all out.
Yeah,
you moved the line. You moved the line.
This offense has stunk the whole year.
You moved the line.
Yeah, you've totally moved the line.
You don't ask for 30 points. You say, hey, dog, give me 2 touchdowns. If you give me 2 tutties, I can
This isn't the 1998 Eagles here.
Hey, You give me 2 tutties, we can work with that.
All right, yeah, we're trying to work with that. Let's hear
3 tutties.
Let's hear from the guy responsible. Let's hear from the coordinator, Kevin Petula, yesterday talking about his offense.
When we're on track, we do a pretty good job. And if we get off track a little bit, whether it's a negative play or a penalty, that puts us kind of in a hole. We've had some trouble with that. It starts with us as a staff to make sure we're in a good play and we're executing at a high level and we're all detailed up. And then if something happens like a penalty, we got to be able to overcome that. So that's kind of been the thing a little bit, because we've had opportunities. We just haven't, made the most of them at times.
Yeah, well, that's for sure. They have not. A lot of word salad there from Kevin Petula.
Kevin Petula the mole. Reckless speculating.
You starting at 10. It's 10-12, and you're throwing Petula under the bus. Calling him a mole, but then you see the offense is going to get better. All right, 215-592-9490. We're live today from Roost Pub and Kitchen in downtown Wilmington, part of the Bardea Restaurant Group. Come on down, have lunch, hang out with us today. Do you expect this Eagles offense to get better down the stretch of the season and into the postseason? Kyle, what are you feeling this morning as the Eagles are 10 games in and pretty historic in terms of some of the negative numbers?
Yeah, come on. That's it right there. They're 10 games in, and this just I'm in the acceptance phase of grieving this Eagles offense. Like
what phase is Hugh in?
Denial. 1 million
Total
percent.
denial.
Yep.
Definitely in denial.
And maybe like bargaining. But no, this is very clearly who they are.
Yeah.
And who they are is an offense that right now does nothing well. And if you want to point to the fact that they don't turn the ball over, that's great. That's cute. But you know what else they do that pretty much ends up being a net zero? They go 3 and out at the highest rate of any team in the NFL. So they might as well throw a ball 40 yards down the field and get intercepted. It's the same exact thing. They're giving the ball back to the defense anyway. So sorry to rain on everybody's parade. But the offense does nothing well. And I just don't understand why anyone would think that all of a sudden in Week 12, these coaches and these players are going to have some sort of light bulb moment where they get this whole thing figured out and the offense gets on track. Like, if the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl this season, they're going to have to do it 2015 Broncos style. Oh. That's how they're going to have to do it.
Well, I'm
accepting.
Look, and if they do it, we'll love it, and they could, because this defense with Fangio, I do trust him, and maybe they could find a way to win 3 playoff games like that. But the fact that we're hearkening back to the 2015 Broncos, where Peyton Manning was playing with one arm.
That's crazy.
I mean, it is crazy.
He was a smart dude, though. He was
39
phenomenal.
with one arm.
No,
they had to wheel him out there on the field.
Did. That defense was phenomenal.
Yeah, what happened to all the offense and the luxury and necessity in this offense? What happened here?
Well, for whatever reason, we can't get this Lamborghini Hurricane. We can't get it up to speed, man. But it's still a nice car.
The
When you pull
transmission
up,
fell out, Hugh.
When you pull up to the spot, you still catching eyes and everything.
By the way,
It's still a
speaking
nice
of
spot,
statistics, where the Eagles lead, they do lead the NFC in one stat we haven't brought up. Do you know what that is?
What's that?
They have the most punts in the NFC. How's that? And you expect this thing to get better.